What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by your favorite Fun Friday FYF co-host, John Luke Garofalo. I almost forgot your name. You're so handsome. And Tim Wright down in the bottom right-hand corner. And joining us today, making his first appearance on the FYF Game Show, we have our friend Colt Snody here with us. For those of you that do not know Colt, you can find him on Twitter at Colt_Snody, and it's in the description of this YouTube video as well. He's a football writer over at Razzball and the co-host of the Shall We Football podcast. Colt, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, guys. It's going to be a good show. Looking forward to it.
You've been talked up big time by our friend Jay. And so far,
Kind words. Jay's a great guy.
He didn't tell me half how handsome you were.
Keeping it all to himself.
I'm blushing.
I know. John, Luke, Tim, how are you guys doing today?
Better now that Tim's here.
And Tim just cracked his Friday beer. He's doing good as well.
All right.
Yeah. We got some people in the chat ready for today's show. Victor down here saying, happy Friday, bro chachos. Happy Friday to you as well, Victor. And Craig, our historian who keeps track of all FYF records, saying today's guest is making his inaugural appearance on FYF and is playing in the 148th game of poll perception in this show's history. We're approaching game 150, baby. We got Dave in here, one of our favorite Canadians.
Toronto Dave.
What's up, Dave? Welcome in. Twin with the yo. Glad to have you in here. And Dame following that up with the yo
twin
himself. What's up, Dame? Scamper stuff.
Dame.
Our favorite chat cat with the beautiful Friday afternoon FYF fam. Glad to have you in here, Scampers. And Maria showing nothing but love. And Albert saying hello to everyone as well. What's up, Albert? And Jay letting us know Colt and I had to travel to Ohio to find out we live 20 minutes from each other.
Oh, the irony.
It's like the beginning of a really cute rom-com where then you realize you meet out there and you fall in love and then, but we're going to have to go back at the end of this trip. And lo and behold, you run into each other at the Piggly Wiggly. Scamper said jail in a new location. It's just a green screen.
Yeah, this is all green screen.
We have our friend Grimfan in here with a question for us to start off today's show. We got news today of Joe Burrow's injury and the Bengals putting out that he's going to be fine, so you can stop calling and offering your cabs to them. Cody, I'm going to throw this one to you first. How does Joe Burrow's injury affect the Bengals' promising season to a possible Super Bowl run?
I'm not super worried about it. I mean, it's just a calf strain at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, you never like to see your franchise quarterback carted off the field, regardless if it's just, beginning of training camp or in season for even worse scenario. But I'm okay with it. I think they're just being overly cautious because he's due for a big contract as well. So they're going to kid glove this one big time.
Jail, do you tend to agree with our friend Colt's take down there?
Yeah, I think there's reason to be cautious, but I'm not sounding the alarms until we get some more serious news. I'm assuming Joe Burrow is going to go out there and be able to play same Joe Burrow that we saw last year because he's just that guy, and he doesn't need to run that much. Just got to throw.
No, there's plenty of time for him to heal. Tim, I assume the thing you have the most problem with in this sentence is the Bengals' promising season to a possible Super Bowl run. Am I correct?
Yes. With or without him, I don't think they're the Super Bowl team. I don't. That's just a brutal opinion. The AFC North has gotten way better this past offseason. They've basically had a cupcake AFC North, which is just odd. I feel like we've been used to a strong AFC North, but at least the past two seasons where the Bengals have kind of run with it. Steelers have been down, Ravens have been down, and the Browns have been down, but it's looking
the
like
Browns have been the Browns.
They've been the Browns, but it's looking like that division is going to be a lot more competitive. I think the Ravens are the most complete team. So hot take, this would make the Bengals a fringe playoff team for me. So very hot take, but they're going to get beat up, man. They're going to get beat up in that own division. Ravens pull out.
You know what's sad? The Browns actually might have been up during that time period, actually, and they're still not good enough to compete, just on like the Browns standard.
Still have a great defense. Their offense is turning up. I mean, it's not going to be easy. It's not the Bengals division anymore, I don't think. Past two seasons it was. It's not theirs now.
You've been calling them overrated, not downplaying that they are good, but overrated whenever they're in the Super Bowl conversation with the Bills and Chiefs for a couple years now. And so far, you do tend to be right. Dame agrees with you down here, saying, Tim with the fire take, and I tend to agree. And Craig letting us know that he's going to offer his cows to whoever you want. Okay. What's up? Give them all your cows. I won't interfere with that any longer. Okay, so today we brought our friend Colt here to play, as Craig mentioned, our 148th game of poll perception. Before we get into that, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following our friend Colt, go and follow him on Twitter at Colt_Snody and check out a show, the Shall We Football podcast. After you do that, make sure you head on back over here, wherever you're watching, on the Front Yard Fantasy YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. It is the easiest way to show your support for what we're doing. And if you hit that little notification bell, you can make sure you don't miss any of our shows every day at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're here playing games every single day, whether you like it or not. And the notification bell will make sure that you don't miss any of them. That being said, you guys ready to get into our game of poll perception?
Let's do it.
I'm going to explain the rules and hand it off to John Luke, who is going to be running today's game. Before the show today, JL found 7 polls online about fantasy football or the NFL landscape. Now, what he's going to do is he's going to propose one of those polls to a contestant. He may ask me, hey, Simon, what percentage of people chose side A, Saquon Barkley, over side B, DeAndre Hopkins? I'm going to give my percentage. The closer I am to the actual number, the more points I'm going to get. Up to a max of 10 if I'm exactly right, 1 if I'm 15 away, and it's going to scale up within there. Now, the other 2 opponents, before the correct answer is revealed, you guys are going to guess whether the actual answer is over or under the answer that I said. If you get that right, you're going to add 2 points to your score. We're going to go like this, alternating who is answering the poll through 2 full rounds. That is 6 polls until we get to our 7th and final poll, where there's no more of this over-under nonsense. It's just writing down a number. Everybody's guessing side A. Whoever's the closest is going to get 5 points. Unless you're exactly right, you'll still get 10 even in that round. And the person with the most points is our poll perception champion for today. Send us your fax number, and we will have the Coles cash to you within 48 business hours.
Love it.
Guaranteed. All right. All right. The order today's game is Tim, followed by Colt, followed by Simon.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw.
Also, I see Joey in here saying, did Joey get banned for the feet stuff? Yeah, he's in timeout for at least 2 days. We'll see if he can come back on Monday after he thinks about what he did. Even though
tome out.
He's in tome out. You idiot.
Tome out. Tome out sounds like a great place to be. All right, Tim, you're going first on this, and you ready for your poll?
Oh yeah, bring it.
All right, here it is.
So bad.
Will any Chiefs wide receiver be a top 30 wide receiver this season? No or yes? What percentage of the public chose A, no, in this poll?
Yeah, this is gross. I don't believe in Kadarius Toney as much as some people do, but I have no idea what Twitter's going to think. I gotta lean no. You got to figure there's a wide receiver 1 on every single team, and I don't know what that is on the Chiefs. So some of the teams have 2 people that would be top 30. So I'm gonna lean no, actually, by a bit, and we'll just keep it safe, probably 40% here.
40%, locking that.
Oh wait, 60%. Wait,
60%.
You're guessing on the no side.
Yeah, I'm trying to. No, so 60%, yeah.
60%. Locking that in?
Yeah.
So you believe 60% of people chose no.
Yeah, probably
There,
be higher.
there won't be a Chiefs wide receiver, top 30 wide receiver. And that is locked in, which means Colt, we're to you. Do you think the actual percentage people who chose side A, no, in this poll was over or under Tim's guess of 60%?
Slightly over. I still think Kelsey's the wide receiver 1 on the team, and it's between. I mean, Sky Moore could have a breakout year too. Very underrated player. Had a pretty awful rookie year, but outside of that, Justin Ross. I mean, there's just a lot of guys that do some things well, and they have speed and whatever. But I'm gonna say just ever so aggressively higher than 60%.
All right, Colt taking the over. Simon, do you think the actual percentage was over or under? Tim's guess is 60%.
If this was asked before Kadarius Toney had the injury this past week, I think it might be a little bit more on the yes side, but I'm going to agree with Colt here that it's going to be ever so slightly over.
Good context.
It's just too much.
It's weird.
Too much uncertainty there to even pinpoint a single name. And the only hype train that was being built just got derailed by injury. So I'm going to lean no here. Over. Baby.
All right. Dude, we got the double over from Colton Simon here. Tim's guess of 60%. We got some guesses here in the chat. We got 77% guess from Dame. We got 67% from Craig. 72 from Albert. 69 from Twin. Naughty boy. 91% from Scampers.
Sheesh.
71% from Misery. A lot of odd numbers here. Sometimes that happens on polls.
91, that's pretty fierce.
91, yeah.
Gosh, who's the quarterback last time I was on this thing? Do you know who Carson Palmer is? Was that what it was?
That was the poll you put last time, Tim.
You know who Carson Palmer.
Rude.
Shout out Jeff Bell for posting that. Just banger of a question on Twitter.
All right, Sam, you guess 60% of people chose side A or no in this poll. Colt and Simon both guessed the over. They think the actual percentage was higher than Tim's guess of 60%. The actual percent of people who chose no in this poll was 62%.
Oh,
okay.
Everybody gets points.
Hot pasta, baby.
Oh,
Everybody wins. Everybody
Nice.
gets points.
Nice.
Tim, you were within 5 percentage points. This means you were going to get 5 points on this poll. And Colt and Simon both correctly guessed the over/under, giving you 2 points each. Well done.
It's less than Tim got, but
Great.
hot start, Tim.
yeah.
So that's 5 plus 2, correct?
He gets 5. We each
sorry.
get 2.
Yeah.
We each get 2 because he gets the okay.
Yeah,
He
he
gets
gets
the 5.
5. You two, you both get
Gotcha.
2 points each. And before we move
Okay.
on to our next poll, I wanted to ask you guys about these Chiefs wide receivers. You mentioned Sky Moore, how he might have some upside here in this offense. If if fantasy managers, people in the chat are going to take a shot on one of the wide receivers in Kansas City, which one are you putting your money on?
I think
What do you think?
just because of the amount of money you have to put on him and the potential upside, it's a name. The other name that Colt mentioned, it's Justin Ross. And remove my Clemson bias from this equation. That dude had first-round talent prior to his injury in college, comes out. He's on one of the highest-powered offenses in the league with a wildly ambiguous wide receiver situation, and you can grab him at the end of drafts. Like, that's the one I'm drafting.
Same.
That's the one I'm taking shots on.
I'm not even drafting. I'm just picking them up off the waivers most
Free.
of the time.
Yeah.
Don't need to draft him.
I was having fun drafting Kadarius Toney earlier in the offseason in mock drafts, and then his cost just got nuts, man.
Yeah.
Started getting drafted as if he was like already for sure a top 25 wide receiver instead of the potential to reach that on the Chiefs offense.
Yeah, I feel like that happens with most Chiefs skill position players. You get close to that Chiefs offense, and their value's going to shoot up.
Yep. I moved Toney anywhere I had him in the offseason just because I don't trust him to be on the field.
Yeah.
And his
Yeah, I
value
think
probably
so.
couldn't have been higher than the flashes that we saw
Yep.
with the excuse of being on a new team.
Mhm.
Before, like you can blame anything, any inconsistencies, anything like that. Like, well, we saw flashes and he was getting used to a new offense.
Right. So a buddy of mine from the FF Dynasty crew, shout out to those guys, great guys out of Charleston, South Carolina. He texted me a couple weeks ago, man, you were right about Toney. He shipped him off too a couple weeks ago. I said, he just did his hamstrings of sadness. Old Chris Harris reference. That's the phylum I put him in.
I still love the talent. I still love the
Me too.
flashy plays that we get out of him. Like, that's why he's a player that's so hard to
I just
move
think
on from. But dude,
yeah, I just
he's so
don't know
much
if
to watch.
I don't think he can be a full-time player. I don't think his body will allow him. He'll still have value when he's healthy as a part-time player in that offense, but his utility is, if I can sell him high and get something back, package him up. That's what I did. I packaged him up and I got Jamar Chase. Now that included a lot of other things too, clearly. But Tony as a throw-in for Chase, yeah.
That's like saying, yeah, I traded a keychain and some other stuff for a brand new car.
A Skittle
But I
or a
just-
Lamborghini.
And also
It
my
was
mom.
a lot of first-round picks and stuff too.
I feel like the player that nobody is talking about, we talk about Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney at the top, and they're like, oh, but if you want a sleeper, grab Rashee Rice or Justin Ross. What about Marquez Valdez-Scantling? Like, he's still there, right? Is there any hope for him, or is it just the role that we saw last year is the role we're going to get from him this year?
I think there is hope for him. I mean, he's a talented player in the NFL on this team that there's an opportunity for someone to make a name for themselves. I think one part of this equation is usage. The other part is there a talent great enough on this team to establish themselves over the other options? And I don't know if MVS can do that, but I do like him as an upside late round stash.
Well, if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you go watch the video of the deep bomb pass from Patrick Mahomes to MVS at Chiefs practice, and then we'll revisit this question because I have a feeling you're going to draft him about 18 rounds higher than he's currently going after watching that one.
Probably. All right, let's get into our next poll. Colt, this one is yours. See if you can get Tim's lead away from him. All right, Dynasty, PPI.
Yeah.
Dynasty, PPI. Which side would you rather roster? Side A, Jahmyr Gibbs, or side B, Christian McCaffrey? What percentage of the public chose Jahmyr Gibbs in this poll, Colt?
Oh man, I love this this voice here. I think a little context would be important in answering it, but I think I know the public's perception regardless. If I'm a win now team, I think I'd be okay with either one of these guys, but I would prefer to have Christian McCaffrey. For the long-term sake of things, give me Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, public perception, Gibbs is one of the hottest running backs out there. I mean, he's so young. He went in the first round, 4 picks behind Bijan. And the Detroit Lions were so thrilled to get him. I mean, they reached for him and they were thrilled about it. So I think his target share is going to be there. I think they're going to use him the right way. I'm going to say that Gibbs won this poll.
All right, what percentage guess do you think chose side A?
Percentage-wise, I'm going to call this one pretty close. I'm going to say 55% side A.
55%. Locking that in?
Lock it in.
All right, 55% locked in. Simon, was the actual percent over or under? Colt's guess 55%.
I think I'm going to take the ever so slight under, and only because I think Christian McCaffrey is one of the few players like Justin Jefferson, like Christian McCaffrey, like Jamar Chase, where you see their name in a poll, you click their name in a poll, regardless of reading it. So there's a portion of the population that's just like, give me Christian McCaffrey. I'll take the ever so slight under, but I do think it's going to be close to 50-50.
All right, Simon taking the under. Tim, I think the actual percentage was over or under? Colt's guess of 55%.
Yeah, I'll probably just mirror and take the under as well. I think it's a solid guess, but I mean, it's still CMC. This year he's going to rock it. Next year he's going to rock it. And if you get 2 to 3 seasons at this point, that's enough dynasty out of a running back that you could hope for.
Sure.
So I'll take the slight under as well. But I think you're right. I think it's going to be close to that 50 range. So solid guess.
All right, the double under, the reverse split the room, Colt. We got some guesses here in the chat. We got 35% from Craigathy. We got 34% from Dame, 39% from Swamp, 29% from Twin, 45% from Albert, 52% from Misery, and Grimmon's that's at 8%. Only because you don't know what you're going to be getting out of Gibbs in his first NFL season.
You're right.
Let's
Proven
get
commodity.
Stampers.
Yeah.
45.
I trained my brain to only see numbers, not read numbers, just see the numbers. 45. All right, let me pull this poll back up. And Colt, you guessed 55% of people chose side A in this poll. Which side would you rather roster, Jahmyr Gibbs or CMC? Simon and Tim, you both took the under. The actual percentage of people who chose Jahmyr Gibbs was 56%.
No
Whoa!
freaking
Holy
way.
crap.
Whoa.
I told
What
you
a
it's out of
guess.
control.
Cole, you are 1 percentage point away, which
Wow.
means you're going to get 5 points in this one, and you're going
Love
to
it.
keep the
Yeah.
points away from Simon and Tim because they
Great.
did not correctly guess the over/under.
In the
Well done, my friend.
very rare instance of getting to tell the chat to suck it,
Nice.
as you beat
Yeah.
all of them too. You were closer than everybody in the
Damn.
chat.
Great guess.
God.
Well done. And that is going to put you firmly in the lead here, Colt.
Awesome.
7 to 5 to 2.
Craig, I thought Craig captured my sentiment the best, but Mr. Scampers captured it pretty well with holy S balls. That is much higher than I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Holy S-ball.
I think it's a little out of control personally, but that was my guess for public perception.
I like Jahmyr Gibbs. This is not
I
an
do too.
anti-Jahmyr Gibbs take. It's just
Not
a
at all.
check how much you're valuing age in Dynasty and check the average length of the Dynasty leagues you're in. Watch how many of them don't exist in 3 years.
Exactly.
Play in 2 to 3 year windows because that's honestly how long most of these Dynasty leagues you're joining in the offseason are going to last. You might as well get, if you think Christian McCaffrey is going to be better for the next 2 years, get Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I think Misery was the closest one in the chat with 52%. Well done. I think everyone else went pretty far under.
Plus, I mean, David Montgomery's there. Like, it's not, he's 26 and he's still pretty good. Like, that's weird. All right, whatever. Great guess, though. That was awesome.
I do think they didn't draft Gibbs to be
yeah, for sure.
like a 1A, 1B with Montgomery, but we saw the value of that secondary running back role in Detroit last year. And it's just fucking touchdowns away from everybody else on the team.
Yeah.
How are you guys looking at Jahmyr Gibbs from a long-term dynasty perspective? Do you think that he's the type of talent who can thrive and have not just a few years of good fantasy performance, but a long career?
I don't know. Gauging those types of running backs that last 5+ seasons, I'm not great at, honestly. So a person like him is going to be catching passes out of the backfield. If he's going to be that bell cow back with Montgomery taking some of the snaps away at the goal line, I mean, he's going to get beat up a bit. So I don't know if we're ever going to see a Derrick Henry again. I hope we do, because it's just crazy. But I don't know that he is going to be that guy that's going to last 5+ seasons at elite production. I don't see it yet.
Yeah,
Something you could have done. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Colt.
I think it's so tied to contracts because we don't see many running backs get a second contract. Miles Sanders just got one. I mean, he's probably going to get a guaranteed 2 years out of that. I mean, Saquon was not going to report to camp on the tag, and then they worked out a 1-year deal. You know, like until the running back market changes the way that they're paid, I think that just highly affects the way we have to value them in Dynasty.
Something going in his favor for lasting a little longer is, especially in his rookie year, we could see him, given how he played at Alabama, line up as a receiver significantly more than in the backfield, maybe limit the damage he takes as a runner through this year. Now, that may lead to, I don't know, if you're expecting him to be a full workhorse and instead he's not getting the work on the ground and he's just 80 target guy, you're happy from some standpoints, but it may not be the season that you're expecting from the top 10 draft pick that the Lions took.
Yeah, at that point, it's probably considered a bust.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Let's get into our next poll. Simon, this one's for you.
You got to hit it out of the park, Simon. You got to get it dead on because we're going 2-1-0s next, right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Or we can establish a different pattern.
Nope. Damon is that I believe is #team chat. Yeah, stakes are high.
This is the first time that we've won twice in a row over the chat. That's crazy. Never happened.
Yeah, what is going on? All right, Simon, let me load up your next poll here. All right, here we go. Which would you rather roster in Dynasty? A 2024 projected early second or Sky Moore? What percentage of the public chose the second in this
It's a
poll?
tough one.
Did they say they didn't say if this was super flex or not?
They did not.
This was all the context we were given.
That's all the context I was given.
Man, if this just said a second, I'd probably go 50-50 because Sky Moore is a second. Like, I just feel like that is about as even of an equivalency as you can think of. Like, your unknown second that has a low but not non-existent chance of hitting and making an impact on your fantasy team, and a hyped up wide receiver with a hyper disappointing rookie year. Like, those just align in trade values. The early is what's throwing me off. And I think it's going to be enough to just tip it ever so slightly in the second's favor. They see early, the thought process is, oh, that's basically a first.
Mhm.
And then they lean that direction. So I'm going to say 62% on the 2024 projected early second.
62%. Locking that in?
Lock that in.
All right.
Oh, that was the answer to the first poll. There's no way they both have the same answer. Oh,
That's the only reason I'm not queen being it.
damn it. I locked it in already. I'm locked in. I'm sticking with
You
it.
did.
Maybe it is. Every number is a number.
Every number is a number.
True.
Tim,
It's true.
do you think the actual percentage was over or under Simon's guess of 62% or Queen B? I did not mention that on the previous ones. If you think it's exactly even.
I can't queen bee it because
You said
62
that.
is already an answer, and that's never going to happen again. So if you had said 63, I probably would have. So
I almost said 63.
oh man, I know if I can beat it.
That was in there.
I'll go over. I mean, we had all the talking points already about the Chiefs receivers. He's still a wild unknown with a effective bust rookie year. So the Chiefs have shown that they'll spread it out, and we have no idea who's going to be the one that hits there. So give me an early second and a chance to kind of reset my my receiver pick there in the early second round. So I'll go over.
It's basically the first.
Yeah, it's basically the first. It's basically the 1-1, dude.
All right, Colt. Do you think the actual percentage is over, under, or exactly even with Simon's guess, 62%?
Still brewing on it a second because I'm looking at that early second as far as you can kind of claw your way up into the first too. You know what you guys were saying? It's almost the first. I'm thinking about the value and the public opinion of, using that as a trade chip to get up into the later end of the first round. Sky did bust pretty hard last year. The ambiguity of the receiving core of the power of the offense. I'll go with the over. I'll go with the over side. Right at about 65 maybe for the 2024 projected early second.
All right, taking the over. Man, every two contestants who aren't the ones setting the line have been aligned this game so far. We've had 2 overs, 2 unders, and 2 overs again.
What I love about polls like this is the person posting this, is looking at their opponent's team and they're projecting it as they're looking at me like, man, their team is ass. Like that's
right. You're right.
Like there's like the internal bias of thinking your team's better than everybody else's and that you're gonna win and they're gonna have the early second.
Yeah.
It's so funny how wrong that is every year too.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Every year there's some teams that are just up there. We got some guesses in the chat. 50 from Dame, 61% from Scampers and Misery, 40% from Craig, 64% from Brady. Says, go Tigers. Wow, Brady. Good to
Go
see you,
Tigers.
man. Go
What's up, Brady?
Gone Toters. We got Twin in here, 59%, Albert with 54%, and Grim with 77%. And just to refresh you, Simon, you guessed 62% chose side A in this poll.
Over.
A 2024 projected early second round rookie pick over Sky Moore. Both Tim and Colt picked the over. They think the actual percentage is over Simon's guess, 62%. The actual percentage was...
Come on. 62.
35%.
Whoa! What? What? No way.
Wow. We were way off.
No way.
Wow.
What?
I don't know.
That's crazy. Okay.
Oops.
All right.
35%. Simon, wherever
Wow.
you are, you unfortunately were too many points away. That way too high of a number for me to count to get points in this one. But Tim and Colt, you both also were wrong on this one, so you are also not going to get points. Well done.
All
You know what it
Yeah,
is?
thanks.
We didn't see enough from him last year for
Yeah.
people to stop making excuses for why it didn't happen. He was not present enough in the offense for enough people to have
Yeah.
nix the possibility of him being good out of their mind.
But why wasn't he? Because he wasn't good. So dumb. That's such a dumb.
Yeah, I did not think that people were on Sky Moore like that.
Maybe the Kadarius Toney, maybe it's just swaying things ever so
Yeah, I guess
slightly. Like they see an opening for him to jump in. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we might not have baked that in enough.
Don't draft Chiefs receivers. Just don't.
No.
Maybe
Don't
trade
worry.
Sky Moore in Dynasty. Go get yourself an
Yeah,
early
that's-
second.
Yeah, right.
I would do.
It's basically a first, guys.
Yeah.
113.
And
Oh,
you
man.
package that with some other stuff, you could get Jamar Chase.
There you go.
Throw Kadarius Toney and you
Patrick
get Jamar
Wilson.
Chase. Easy.
And the chat is shocked at this one. Greg says Sky Moore stands are going nuts these days. Take that, people on the show.
Ha! Suck it, nerds on the show.
I think there's supposed to be a comment in there, Craig. Take that, people on the show. Brady had a question for us. Jonathan Mingo or Sky Moore? Which of those two guys would you be interested in?
God, Jonathan Mingo's in a situation that I'm not hyper excited about. You're tempted to just take the receiver on the better offense, but Jonathan Mingo, we've seen 0 snaps of in the NFL. Maybe he shows up and he outplays Terrace Marshall and the other options there in Carolina. Works his way up the depth chart pretty quickly. I think give me Sky Moore. Just give me the shot at being the guy in the Chiefs offense. Cole, you agree on there?
I do. I think just give me the better offensive system and scheme and coach. I mean, Frank Reich, God and Patrick Mahomes, so why not take the better side of that? I don't know. And Mingo's production just wasn't ever there in college. I mean, he broke his foot or something, I believe his junior year, and that could have short-circuited a breakout year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. His production's just never been there. I'm not super sold on him. He went a little higher than I thought he would have in the draft, but still like him. But I give a slight lean to Sky.
I'm with you.
All right. The score stays the same on this one. Colt, you were still in the lead 7. Tim, you are right behind with 5. And Simon, you got 2.
That's right where I like to be. I'm all about the comeback, baby.
All about the comeback. All right, let's get into our next poll. But before we do, we got a new mechanic.
Oh, I would love to. Instead of just the options over, under, and queen B, you now have 2 more options, way over and way under. What this means is if you think your opponent's guess is very far off, that is more than 15 percentage points away, so a minimum of 16 away, you are going to double the amount of points you get, 4 points. The catch is, though, it is a double or nothing mechanic. If it is, say, only 14 percentage points over, you're going to get 0 points if you said way over instead of just over. So that would not have applied to either of your guesses this past round, but both of you could have way undered my last one and gotten some bonus points. It requires a bad guess from the other person that you're playing with, or I guess a crazy poll with a good guess on your part, but an opportunity to come back for, I don't know, someone who may need it.
Who might that be? I don't know.
Not I, said the
Not I.
loser.
All right, Tim, this one is yours. You ready for your second poll?
Let's do it.
I mean, you calling yourself a loser just reminded me. Maria and I were watching this really corny show on Prime last night called Almost Paradise, and it's set in the Philippines. And they go in, they think they're going into an underground fight club, but it turns out to be an underground badminton club.
Oh,
And so he gets up, and they go to, they're undercover cops, so they go to like play in the tournament. Never played badminton before. And their opponents are like shit talking them. They're like, "Oh, you guys suck." And the guy calls them some name in like Filipino, and the show stops. Like, oh, and he's like, "What? What did he say?" He called you a loser.
got him.
Suck it.
Got him. All right, Tim. Here's your next poll. You're on the clock. Who are you drafting? Nick Chubb, A.J. Brown, or C.D. Lamb? What percentage of the public chose Nick Chubb in this poll?
So stupid. This is so stupid. There's no.
Who'd you draft first?
No context. God damn it.
Tell us how you really feel, Tim.
So dumb.
I didn't pick that up from the first couple things you said.
Yeah, my bad. I love Nick Chubb this season. I think he's gonna have another banging year. And I hate having to guess on running backs. And if I have the opportunity to get him, I'm gonna try and take him. I do love AJ. I do love CD. Screw it. Nick Chubb, we're going to give him a good 42%.
42%, locking that in?
Yeah, confidently.
Okay, locking that in, 42%. Colt, in the actual percentage that chose side A in this poll, was over, under, way under, or exactly even with Tim's guess of 42%.
I love Chubb this year too. I do think the Browns are going to be a little more pass-friendly offense this year. I think they turn over the reins to Deshaun a little bit more. I mean, they paid him a shit ton of money, so they kind of got to see what they have. Like, okay, can you be a top 5 quarterback again, or are we just total idiots? I love Chubb. Brown and Lamb are both studs too, man. They're all fun players. I'm gonna go slightly under.
All right, taking the under on Tim's guess of 42%. Simon, same options.
I was just doing some math real quick. I saw the number at 26, and I feel like we've seen a little bit of a shift in first rounds this year in non-super flex leagues where we're seeing these wide receivers go before the running backs that are outside of that absolute top tier. Like, we're still seeing the absolute top tier running back, but people aren't taking shots on the Nick Chubb before they grab a CD Lamb or something like that. So I think both of these wide receivers are going to beat Nick Chubb in this poll. I think Nick Chubb's going to be the third option, and I'm going to take the way under on Tim's guess.
Okay.
That it's going to be about, that would be what, like 7 percentage points less than 33%? I can't do math.
Let's see. Yes, 27%. It'd be lower than that. So 26% or lower.
That's what I'm locking in. Way under.
All right. Okay. Simon, locking in the way under.
Please be 27.
We got an under from Colt.
27.
We got some guesses in the chat. 10% from Misery at 20. We got Craig in here with 25%, 28% from Dame, 30% from Scampers, 33% from Albert, and 41% from Twin. And maybe a guess from Scampers. He's probably still writing and just writing out the letters, and I don't see it. Who knows? All right. Pull this poll back up. You're on the clock. Who are you drafting? Nick Chubb, A.J. Brown, C.D. Lamb? Tim, you guessed 42% of people chose Nick Chubb in this poll. Colt, you guessed the under, and Simon, you guessed the way under. The actual percentage of people chose
26.
Oh, Nick Chubby in this poll was
really
44%.
No!
Huge!
Wow.
Oh, not confident, but man, were you close? 2
Damn.
percentage points away. It's going to give you 5 additional
Way
points.
under my ass, dude.
You know what it is? The testosterone levels on Twitter have been off the charts since they renamed it X. So we got all these heavy RB drafters, these high T drafters coming in, voting on these polls, getting the Nick Chubb numbers way up there.
I would agree on that, yeah.
X. High T, low RB. I like that. All right, then that's going to give you 5 additional points here, bringing you into the lead 10-7-2. Well done. And who was closest in the chat?
Me.
It's 44%. It might have been you, Tim.
41. Twin was at 41%.
41% from Twin. Ooh, that's pretty good. All right. Let me pull this poll back up real quick. Before we go on to the next poll, I want to ask you all about CeeDee Lamb. I know everybody loves him. I know he's a nice guy, and I know he's very talented. What I don't know is if that offense is going to look anything like it has in the last few years. How are you guys feeling about this Dallas offense? Do you think that the new offensive coordinator is going to change things for CeeDee Lamb?
Well, is McCarthy going to call plays? Because if that's the case, sorry, CD, that sucks. I mean, honestly, that's just a huge bummer.
He doesn't see numbers.
I mean, if we're looking at the addition of Kellen Moore to the Chargers as a positive for the receiving weapons there, I do think obviously it's a net negative for the Cowboys, or at least an uncertainty for CeeDee Lamb. That being said, if you're waiting for more from CeeDee Lamb, I don't know what else you're waiting for to prove that he's a dude that can just do it. He had like 1,400 yards last season. He was a true alpha wide receiver who can compete to be the top fantasy option in the league on an offense that's that powerful. Am I worried about the change? Yeah, but it's the way I'm worried about Justin Jefferson after Kirk Cousins. Know what I mean? There's a concern about the change, but it's still a hyper talented wide receiver.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about the play calling going next year too, but my concern level's right there with yours. I mean, he's an elite player. That's how I view him. He's an elite player, an elite asset in Dynasty. I'm not doing anything with him really. I'm happy to have him where I do.
I think situation affects his ceiling more than it affects his floor. He's still got the elite floor regardless, right. And changing that coordinator
I like that. Yeah, I think that's a really good way of putting it, because that's generally how I view talented players. It just affects that top side. Damon here said, I hereby resign from team chat to no longer bring us down.
They need you, Dame.
This is the best I've ever done, Dame, so don't worry about it.
Even Michael Jordan had off games. I think. I never watched him play.
All right, let's get into our next poll. Tim, you are in the lead here. Colt, this one is yours. Maybe try and take it back.
I hope.
All right, if you could guarantee Kenneth Walker got 250 plus carries this season, where should he be going in fantasy football drafts? Second round, third round, fourth round, or fifth round? What percentage of the public chose A, second round in this poll?
No further context on format?
This is all I got.
Okay, just double checking. 250 plus carries. Where should we go in fantasy football drafts? What percentage?
It's a toughie.
Yeah, this is, man. I've narrowed it down to two choices, I think, here. I wish there was just a little more information about the league format and settings and stuff, but that's okay. I'm going to say 250 carries. It's not counting targets, receptions, touchdowns. Second round.
So you think more people chose side A on the second round? You think that's going to be higher than the other ones? What percentage do you think chose side A in this bowl?
I'm feeling like a 33%.
33%, locking that in?
Yeah. Let's lock it in.
All right, locking that in. 33%. Simon, I think the actual percent was over, under, way over, or way under, or exactly even, with Colt's guess of 33%.
I'm going to extrapolate out total touches from this. So if he's getting 250 carries, if you count receptions, he'll probably have 253 total touches next season. After Zach Charbonnet comes in and steals every single target that the running back room is going to get in that offense. I think it might be a little bit lower just because of the assumption I just made, I think is being made by a lot of people, that any receiving work we saw last year is just out the window for Walker. Because it seems like whether Charbonnet's a better runner is still up for debate, but whether he's a better pass catcher seems to be decided by the public. So I think third round wins this. So I'm going to take the ever so slight under on Colt's guess there.
All right, you're going to take the under on Colt's guess. Tim, the actual percentage is over, way under, or exactly even. Colt's guess of 33%.
I think you split us this time. I'm going to take the over. I don't think fifth round or fourth round really contribute much to this. I think it's between the second and third.
Point. Damn it. Math!
I think, I think between second and third, you're at least getting 40% around there for both. I really like the Seahawks offense this season, so I could easily see people taking them in the second. But yeah, I'll take the over on that 33%. I don't feel comfortable at the way over, but second and third round, definitely take it. No way he's making it to the fourth or fifth.
No.
God, what great points.
And people are sleeping on Charbonnet too, in my opinion. And I took Charbonnet at 2-3 in a rookie draft like 3-4 weeks ago. That's criminal. Why is he there? Why is he there at 2-3?
Give him the draft capital and then the production in college. It's absurd.
You guys are bananas.
We got some guesses in the chat. 69% from Scampers. Dane with 77%, 55% from Misery, 40% from Grim, 41% from Albert, and 60% from Craig. Well, the actual percentage of people who chose side A, second round in this poll, was 36%.
Oh my God, you guys are so good at this game.
Wow.
And Colt,
I'll be damned.
you were 3 percentage points away, which means you were going to get 5 additional points in this one.
Killer.
Tim, you correctly guessed the over/under, giving you 2 additional points. And Simon, I'm sorry.
Yeah, great guess, guys. Man, I gotta join your study group next time.
Can't wait for the invite.
What was the breakdown of the rest of that? I'm kind of curious.
The breakdown was second round got what did I say? 36%.
You got it.
I don't have the breakdown. I copied the wrong poll into the second, just this part that has the breakdown. So I don't have the breakdown for you. I'll try and get that for you before the end of the show. But we are running low on time, so we're going to move on to the next poll. Simon, this one is yours. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. It's Dynasty Superflex. Which would you rather roster? Trey Lance, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, or Sam Howell? What percentage of the public chose Trey Lance in this poll?
Suck it.
Do you have a date stamp on this one?
No, I do not.
Is that applicable?
They should all be within the last week.
Okay.
Okay. So we got 3 presumed starters. 1, what the hell's going on there? I guess it's Brock Purdy, but look at the draft capital they spent on Trey Lance. Surely another team wants a starting quarterback that has that draft capital spent on them. There's still this glow around Trey Lance because of the lack of time we've actually seen him on the field. But that being said, the glow's starting to fade for people. That lack of time we've seen him on the field is starting to have the opposite effect. So I don't think he's going to be the most popular choice here. There's a new wave that Kenny Pickett seems to be riding of support for him going into this season. But I think what people are forgetting is they're supporting an upside of the most boring QB2 you could possibly have in Superflex. like cool. Like put him in your lineup and get 16.5 points a week and just roll with it. I think him and Sam Howell are going to win this poll, though. Sam Howell probably with the most votes, just because he's the one who's had the positive press coming out. His teammates coming out and saying, or coming out in support of him. The media is coming out in support of him. We're waiting on the coaches to fully come out and support him, but I think there's enough positive news out there that Sam Howell will win this. With all of that stalling, I am going to then guess that Trey Lance comes in second to last in this poll ahead of Desmond Ridder, who people are ready to already deem a failure. And he got 21% of this vote.
21%. Locking that in?
No, 17.
17%. Locking that in?
Yeah, locking that in.
All right, Tim, do you think the actual percentage that shows Trey Lance in this poll was over, under, way under, or exactly even with Simon's guess of 17%?
I literally have no idea, so On the off chance Simon got a dead on, I'm queen being it.
You son of a gun.
Queen being it. I like it. Colt, your options are the same as Tim. The actual percentage is over, under, way up, way over, way under, exactly even. Simon's guess is 17%.
I'm gonna go a little over.
Little
Just a
over.
little.
All right, taking the over. We got some guesses here in the chat. 0% from Grim. Good guess. Good guess. 69% from Scampers. 77% from Dame. 55% from Misery. 40% from Grim. 41% from Albert. 60%
I think those are from the
Craig.
last poll.
Yeah,
Ooh,
they gotta be.
Yeah.
11% from Scampers, 28% from Dame, 13% from Brady, and 9% from Albert. Pull this poll back up. That's the wrong one. All right. Which would you rather roster, Trey Lance, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, or Sam Howell? Simon, you get 17% of people chose Trey Lance.
Indeed, I did.
Tim guessed the Queen Bee. Colt, you guessed the over. The actual percent of people who chose
Please
side A in this poll was
give me 5 points. Just get in range of Tim.
36.
You stupid man!
With 21%, you would have gotten yourself
Wow.
a point, but then you changed it to 17%. Put you outside of the range.
Oh.
And now I can't beat Colt. Right? Because he's going to go for 14. And even if I get this last one spot on, the best I can do is tie Tim for second. Or make it a 3. I could force. No, I can't force.
You can't.
About the part that I just said at the beginning of that sentence.
Yeah.
San Fran's got to
not
move him
looking
soon,
great.
don't you think?
You would think so.
I mean,
Purdy hasn't done anything in training camp yet. He's just hanging out, and they're saying Trey Lance looks good. So I don't know, man. It's so weird.
it's a really weird situation. I'm convinced that Shanahan hates Trey Lance. I don't know. I don't know if he slept with his wife or something. I don't know what's going on.
It's a personal vendetta. Twin down here saying, why did I vote for Simon? Honestly, that's on you. So no apology for me on that one, Twin. You made that decision. You live with it.
All right, contestants, we are going into our final round here. This one's going to work a little differently than the previous ones. Each contestant is going to write down a percentage guess to the poll. Whoever is the closest is going to get 5 points. If any contestant or two contestants share the same answer, they're going to share the same fate. And I said the person closest to it gets 5 points, right? I did. Bingo. All right. Colt, do you have something to write down your percentage guess on or
Yep.
from? Perfect.
You can just write it on your
All right.
face if you don't have any paper or anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, here's your final poll. Worst season of the year? Summer, spring, winter, or fall?
Come on.
What percentage of people
I'm
chose
so
summer?
biased.
Come
I'm
on.
so biased. This
There's
is
no way.
absolute hell here in San Antonio. It is
Yeah.
hell on earth. I
Yeah, but
hate
They don't even,
this.
but they don't even have Twitter in Texas, dude.
But I know. Yeah, I'm trying not to judge the entire populace based off of the
None of us have Twitter anymore. It's all X.
yeah, that's so.
It's strange.
I saw someone tweet out like how sick of a name that would have been in like 2003.
Yeah, when
Like-
Vin Diesel was crushing it with his Triple X movies.
X Games were fucking sick. Everyone was all about X everything.
Yep. Fair point.
Gosh.
So we're all going to write down a number.
So write down your percentage guess for the percentage of people you think chose side A or summer in this poll.
Okay.
I don't feel good, but I gotta get it exactly right. We're taking a stand. While we're waiting, jail. The would you rather that I'm writing on the back of. Would you rather have hair made of spaghetti or cry tears of maple syrup?
Oh, both very sticky. I think hair is spaghetti.
Huh. Does it grow like spaghetti? What?
Yeah, I cry a little too much and hate being sticky enough that the cry tears of maple syrup would up my already absurd amount of showers a day to an unreasonable amount. I would need the spaghetti.
Do I get like a full hair of
I
spaghetti?
think so.
Do I get like a luscious mane of spaghetti?
Looks like Fabio.
Wave out your noodles, but loose noodles go flying everywhere, sticking to the walls.
Linguini's hitting people in the face. All right, contestants, you have your percentage guess written down.
Indeed, I do.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead and reveal. 11% from Simon, 27% from Cole, and 20% from Tim.
Playing it safe.
Okay, I can't win, but I can ruin Tim's day.
Yes, you can.
You can help
We
me
got some
win.
guesses
I
in the
don't
chat.
care.
Let me have this,
He's
Tim.
thinking about spaghetti.
Go ahead and try and ruin my day.
I'm already sad.
Dame in the chat with 21%, Misery with 29%, and Grim with 37% guesses here in the chat. What's the worst season of the year? Summer, spring, winter, or fall? Y'all were guessing what percentage of the public chose summer in this poll. Tim guessed 20%, Colt guessed 27%, and Simon guessed 11%. Well, the actual percentage of people who chose side A was
11.
28%.
Oh my gosh! The
Incredible
good
guessing.
guesses are just raining in.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yo, Cole, that's going to give you an additional 5 points
Wow.
and the victory in this
Well
game of
done.
poll perception. Well
Killer.
done,
19
friend.
points in
Killer.
your inaugural poll perception show. That's a high ass score, Colt. Nice job, my
Wow.
friend.
Thanks, guys.
An ass score.
That was fun.
Well done.
Guys, everybody watching, if that dominant performance wasn't enough to convince you, I'm going to say it one more time. Go and follow our friend Colt on Twitter. You can find him there at Colt_Snody. And Colt, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang with us on this Friday afternoon.
Man, it's been a pleasure, guys. It was a lot of fun chatting football, cutting things up with you and percentages. And yeah, thanks for the invite. I'm happy to come back anytime.
Anytime you want to talk percentages, just call us up. We're always
Statistics.
down to talk percentages.
24/7.
Guys, that is going to be it for us today, but we'll be back on Monday with some more fantasy football game show fun at 3 p.m. Eastern time, as we are always Monday through Friday. That's going to be it for us today, though. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming to hang out. Thank you, Colt, for coming to hang out with us as well, and we'll see everybody on another time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.